This is George F551 and we're going to do a special video with my new Sony Handycam. We are going to attempt to record, once again, a lot of the things you can see from the first observation point along the Manoosnoc Trail at virtually the top of North Manoosnoc Hill. Now mind you that I'm going to have to move the camera around a little bit because you can see there's little trees that are in the way of some of the views. So you're going to have to bear with some jiggling. To help with keeping things steady, I got the camera on a tripod. Alright, let's get things started. We're going to start in Fitchburg. And we're going to zoom in on Fitchburg State University. Now I just gotta find it. I got it pointed in the right direction. Oh, there it is. And the nice thing about this new Sony Handycam, we can get in really tight. Although that's a little too much. I got digital zoom on right now. Okay, those right there. Those are the dormitory buildings. And here's some of the administration buildings. In fact, the one that's right in the center of your picture used to be known as the Normal School. It was part of the Fitchburg public school system. It was then ultimately closed and it became what was then Fitchburg State College. I got some more of the university buildings there. Okay, that's a little over. And that's the famous smokestack to the boiler room. That's how you know you found it. Alrighty, we've got that. And we gotta move our camera to get our next point of interest, which is right there at the top of the hill. And that's the wal-mart in Lunenburg. The Fitchburg State view was 6 miles away. This is 8 miles. This is at full zoom. I think you can even read the Hannaford sign on the supermarket, which is at the very right of the image. Let's just do a little digital zoom. Right there, yeah, you can read it. And there's the Walmart. You can probably somewhat make out the Walmart logo there. Okay, that's that piece of Alright, there's something else in Fitchburg that I can't seem to find, but normally I can find it. There it is. The top of 5th Street Bridge. It's within the vicinity of that. Ah, there it is, right there. That's 5th Street in Fitchburg. It's a cabled stayed bridge. It replaced something that rotted out many moons ago. Alrighty, next. Something a little closer, and now I gotta move the camera for another good vantage point. Gotta love these small trees that are in the way. I also got my camera lens set to infinity, so the infamous Sony automatic focus doesn't wreck the video. There's Route 2. And I'll bring it up to full zoom there. Okay. Traffic heading left is westbound towards Albany, New York. Traffic heading to the right, which is sparse at this time of day, is eastbound towards Boston. That's that. And we got a Fitchburg neighborhood right here. Not going to zoom in tight on that. Also over in that general vicinity is... Okay, yep, now I found it. In Fitchburg, we got the John Fitch Plaza right there. We'll do some digital zoom. You can even make out the names of the stores. See the Radio Shack. Sorry if it's appearing a little pixelated. There's the movie theater. I believe that was it. Nope, that's the movie theater right there. Sorry if it's bouncing around a little bit, because it's very hard to, as you can see, very hard to get it in view. And then when I let go, like that, it tends to have a little recoil. So there's that. And if we follow, we can see the road itself. There's John Fitch Highway right there. Here's the intersection where Summer Street goes that way. And while we're in that general vicinity, there's the St. Bernard's Field and Stadium. There's the lights. I'm going to widen out a little bit. There we go. There's the field. Apparently something is going on there today. And the St. Bernard's Cemetery. And there's St. Bernard's Elementary School, Fitchburg. Line of sight of most of this is 4 to 5 miles. So is a rough guesstimate there. While we're looking here, one of these lumps, I forget which one it is Manadnoc Mountain in New Hampshire. Yeah, it could be that one right there, the one with the antennas on it. Again, sorry if it gets a little pixelated. I'm not sure when pixelation starts and full digital advantage ends. And we're zoomed into some condos. And let's zoom out just to give you, this is West Street, Leominster, quarter mile. We are very high up. We're 32 stories above them. And we'll move our camera again to get something else. The thing that's very obvious, and that's the Twin City Plaza. The name actually escaped me for some reason. And we'll zoom in on that. Right there's the McDonald's. I don't think it's part of it. And there's some medical buildings there. And here's the main building, which I'm sure you can kind of make out. Yeah, barely. The K in the Kmart logo, which is that building there. The piece with the red awning over it is Bob's Stores, which is kind of a local chain. And next to it, which you can't see, is a new sports bar that opened up. And that sign right there facing away from us is where Boston Market is. You can't see it, but right behind those trees is a Chinese restaurant. And we got ourselves a little strip mall here. There's Workers Credit Union. Aspen Dental, and of course Hannaford Supermarket, also known as Can't-Afford. Wow, and it actually is staying in place. The the image stabilization just had a moment trying to figure out where center is. Above it, little piece of Fitchburg Airport right there, and that's Airport Road or Crawford Street. And right around there's the Fitchburg side of it. And I don't know if I can get it. I'm not going to waste a lot of time, but there's a plane. And I can't get it in view, so much for that. Alrighty. Now, this plaza, right in the center of the picture there, is where the Fitchburg and Leominster line is. Fitchburg on the left, Leominster on the right. So everything on this side is in Leominster. Over here's another local thing, Pierce Pond. Used to be a farm and stables. Now I gotta move the camera again. There's not really a good view of this, but right there, I'm gonna have to, it's gonna wobble. That's one of the very few tavern buildings that exist in the state. This was a tavern where West Street, which I've shown you, used to be part of the one of the mass turnpikes that used to be very integral to the city. Integral part. Alrighty. Now we go over to the Leominster side, which is going to get very hard to show anything clearly. Now we're getting to the very edge of stable ground. So now things really get hard. Over here, that's St. Cecilia's Church. We'll get it at full zoom right there. It's on Mechanic Street. You can see some of the 3 and 4 deckers that make it up. And I'm not sure what that is. Can't really see much of anything Leominster here. Oh, that's an elderly. Let me put this back down. That's an elderly complex there. It's similar to Sunset Towers. I think it's La Pierre Apartments. I forget what it's called. Yeah, like I said, you can't really see too much of Leominster from here, which is kind of sad. So that's what we can see. Although, if the conditions are right, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this on camera, I'm going to digital zoom a little bit. This is going to be hard to do. But supposedly, if the conditions are right, we can actually see Boston from here. That might be a little too strong there. Just going to pan, and hopefully we might see something. Besides an occasional water tower or antenna. Another antenna. Oh, that's just another water tower. If you hear some slight rustling, there's animals watching us. Oh, there's turkeys. That's what they are. Let's try this again. And there's a farm in Leominster right there as we're trying to find Boston. Is that it right there? Yeah, we found it. There's Boston. The building on the very right is the Prudential Tower. The one on the left is the John Hancock. I know it's going to look a little pixelated, but there it is. We got Boston. And with that, we've finished the tour. We're now here at the Hannaford Supermarket to give you an idea of where we were. There's the big hill. And pardon the thumb. And if we can zoom in at full camera zoom, that's where we were. That's where we had the big view. Now we're going digital. I thought you might like to see that part. And that will be the end of this video. With the big K, the Bob stores, and whatever that is, I can't see it. And that's it.